Okay, so for our first league today, we're going to play some mono white tokens. We've been playing this deck a bunch to quite a bit of success. Previously it had Master Trinketeer, so this league we're trying out Snubhorn Sentry instead of that card, because Master Trinketeer was the only card in the deck that was bad against removal. And a lot of what this deck is trying to do is invalidate your opponent's removal spells. So, pretty excited to run this deck through another league. It's a very solid, aggressive strategy in Standard. Cool. And we already have our first match. Hoping this Snubhorn Sentry does some work. We'll see how it goes though. Okay, this hand's pretty decent. Got a fairly fast start. Nothing too powerful going on, but certainly can't complain about this. Gonna lead on the Sacred Cat because obviously the Sacred Cat gets to actually deal damage on turn 2. We're also happier if the Sacred Cat gets hit by a removal spell. Oh wow. The triple 1-drop star, that Legion's Landing was such a good draw. This is like amazing. It's also 2 permanents will descend for our Snubhorn Sentry, which is really nice as well. Yeah, this is great for us. Oh, just a quick moment. I need to open up stream labels. I forgot to do that. Winding Constrictor. That's a bit scary. So it means they definitely have Ballista in their deck, which is a fairly hard card for us to deal with. Yeah, this is kind of terrifying for us, honestly. Still, we'll get to Queen's Commission this turn. As long as they don't have the Ballista, we should be in a decent position. I'm not going to run any I could attack this turn to flip the landing, actually. That's interesting. I'd lose a 1-1, which makes this Pride of Conquerors next turn worse. I think I'm just gonna wait on my attack. I don't really want to lose a 1-1, and it's not like we're gonna use the mana from this land this turn anyway, so we might as well just wait another turn. And we're just crossing our fingers they don't have Ballista here. As long as they don't have that card specifically, I think we're in a really, really good position. Like if they don't have Ballista, we're going to have Ascend with the Shepherd Dunes. This is going to make it really hard for them to block. This gets to start pumping out tokens. Just crossing our fingers they don't have that card. Okay, Servant of the Conduit we're fine with. Especially since it's probably going to be forced to block, and that will not work out very well for them. So we have City's Blessing now. So I think I'm just going to swing with the team. Any blocks they make are very at risk of getting blown out by this Pride of Conquerors. And then post-combat we get to make a couple more 1-1s. So they're killing our Snubhorn, which is fine. Again, if they block, they're just going to lose their critters. Oh wow, this is so good for us. And the Snubhorn meant they couldn't take us off Ascend with their Fatal Push, which was really nice. That's one of the reasons why I was interested in trying out that card in the deck. Let's make a couple more 1-1s. We're just going super wide. We've got the Shepherd Dunes threatening to overrun them at some point soon. Again, just hoping they don't have Ballista. Yeah, that was fairly convincing. Alright, so what are we interested in? We definitely want this Sorcerer's Spyglass because it helps deal with Ballista. We definitely want this Baffling End just as an early piece of removal. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It feels a bit expensive to me. Maybe the Dusk to Dawns are interesting though. Maybe this stuff is interesting as well. I definitely want to try this Immortal Sun, I think. What cards are we interested in taking out? I think I'm interested in taking out maybe some amount of this stuff, just because it's like our weaker cards. The Sacred Cats seem kind of bad in this matchup. Obviously they did work that game, but they seem like very, very small and not very significant. Like, the games are going to go on a bit most of the time, I feel like. I feel like us just completely running our opponent over like that was maybe a bit unusual. Do I want a Dusk Dawn or Treasure Map? Or one cat? It's also possible we're just meant to take the sentries out instead of the cats, in case they leave Fatal Push in. But I kind of like how resilient these are against ballistas. And I kind of imagine they're probably taking most of their Fatal Pushes out. I think I'm most interested in trying a Dusk to Dawn. And then I might try the other one as well. I guess one downside to these Dusk to Dawns is they play kind of badly with the Snubhorns. Maybe that's a reason to have the cats in instead of the Snubhorns, but we'll see how it goes this game before trying that out. I still think the dinos are just going to be a bit better than the cats here. So opponent's going to be on the play. This is definitely a matchup where only having the one Spyglass in my updated version of the list is gonna hurt a bit. Hey there, Matty. How are you today? This hand doesn't do anything. The Dusk to Dawn is really nice, but I think we have to ship this. The 2 Pride of Conquerors really hurts. This also doesn't do anything and is mono expensive cards and 1 land. So okay, this is probably the best hand so far. So hey there, Inferno. I think I'm going to ship this land. We've got a bunch of time to draw lands. We kind of mainly need spells with this hand. That doesn't sound too bad, Matty. Alright, so hopefully this procession helps us catch back up from what's probably going to be a pretty slow start from us. Yeah, just gonna swing with our 1/1. It's not like we can block with it. And if we draw a land next turn or a 4-drop or something, at least we can crack our Field of Ruin and go find a Plains to make this game a bit less painful for us. Oh, they're just cycling a Fetid Pools for their turn? Were they death? No. I guess they just are flooding out pretty badly, or maybe have a lot of top end in hand. That's really strange though. Cool. Let's swing with our token again. And then I think I'm just gonna sack this Field of Ruin right now. Is there any reason not to? Maybe if they're flooding, we don't want to thin out their library of lands quite yet. But they might... I guess they just go find an island if we hit this. I don't know. I feel like if we hit the Botanical Sanctum, there's a chance that whatever they do next turn involves them having to use up an energy from the Ether Hub, depending on what their lands in hand look like. So, I mean, you might as well do this? Not entirely sure. Morning, Stephen. How are you? Okay, at least we get to land this procession next turn. hopefully we'll draw some token makers to follow it up with. Yep, we won the first game, Stephen. This game we mulled to 5, so it might be a tough one. We're trying out this little friend in the deck. I almost want to play this so I can double block the Siphoner, but obviously I'm just meant to get the Procession in play. Oh sweet, what are you tutoring, Stephen? So, we're a bit behind here, but if we draw, like, basically any token maker, it's going to make a pretty big difference with this Anointed Procession in play. Oh, sweet. I didn't realize you tutored Magic. That's kind of cool. Their Duress whipping is really good for us. Helps counteract this Siphoner card advantage a bit. Ballista. Ballista's going to be a hard one to beat, sadly. It's definitely going to be a hard one to beat. Oh, cool. That sounds great, Stephen. Just have to ship the turn back. I think we're probably losing this one. Them having a Ballista on board is really problematic. We've just kind of flooded a bit on our multi 5. Yeah, I get that impression, Stephen. I don't know, I might wait one more turn before conceding. But it's not looking thrilling for us. They get to attack 5, 6, 7. We're on a virtual 2. I guess that's one of the big problems here is no matter what we do, it's not going to make up for the fact there's a Ballista that can start pinging us. Like, this makes loads of tokens, but might not be good enough in the face of that Ballista. Almost certainly won't. But we'll see what they do. It's possible, like, they start pinging down tokens instead of just going face. So based on this game, I think I'm actually gonna. Yeah, opponents are very good at throwing games, for sure. Based on this game, it's possible we don't even want the Dusk to Dawns. Like, maybe we do just want more 1-drops. Like, as the games go along, Ballista becomes such a threat. That maybe we just want to prevent the games going along as much as humanly possible. So we have to draw Sorcerer's Spyglass this turn, I guess. Does not quite do it. Yeah, they're just gonna kill us. If we drew Sorcerer's Spyglass that turn, we're still in the game. So do we want to change anything? I think I'm not sold on these Dusk to Dawns in this matchup, honestly. So I might just bring back in more 1-drops maybe to try and pressure them. I think I still like the Spyglass, the Immortal Sun, and the Baffling End over the other 3 Sacred Cats. But other than that, I'm gonna still have a bunch of 1-drops left in, I think. Just to try and actually apply more pressure. Oh, this sounds pretty nice. Turn 1 landing, and then a couple exhibitions to try and force the landing flip. So let's just cast exhibition, get in for 1. And now, if they don't kill a token, we're going to have landing flipped on turn 3 already, which is really, really threatening. Ideally, we draw like another 2-drop or something to use our mana on. Is this a fatal push? Yeah, fatal pushing the token. I'm very, very okay with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So no reason to play out the arch quite yet. Like, if we could have got Ascend this turn, we'd play out the arch to secure it in case we go below 10 permanents, but there was no need to. Oh wow, the Duress is whiffing as well. This is so good for us. Hopefully they don't have a snake. Does they have a Ballista for 1? That is a-okay. So, we get to attack with our team, flip our landing, make another landing, make a token off this landing. Just start overwhelming them with tokens. Yeah, outplayed them by not drawing spells. Oh, and we're getting the Ballista off the board as well. This is so good for us. Hey Chantel. How's the token life? The token life is great. I am in love with the token life. We get City's Blessing this turn too, which is really nice. Make a token in that end step. We're only in our first match of the league, and this is game 3. But so far the Snubhorn Sentries have been kind of decent, which I'm happy about. We're trying out Snubhorn Sentry instead of Master Trinket here. Ugh. That's a scary magic card. It could use a Midnight Oil. You're not wrong, Stephen. Most decks could. Make another token. So what am I doing here? I have a few different options. Is this what I'm playing for the PTQ? I don't know. I'm probably gonna play Grixis, but I do really like these token decks. Like, I could definitely see myself playing something like this for the PTQ. So what are our options? We can overrun, attack with our 2/2s. If they don't block, they take 10. I think I either want to use a Danto or draw a card though. I don't know which I prefer. I think I'm not attacking no matter what. I'm probably just gonna draw a card here. Like, drawing a card probably makes more tokens than using the Adanto once. It is. You're not wrong, Stephen. I'm not saying you're wrong. So by holding all our tokens back, we get to block this Jade Light Ranger, since we knew the Cartouche of Ambition was coming. I'm just gonna draw a card. We have no good attacks. Like, having an extra 1/1 doesn't change that. We just want to dig for more powerful things to do, such as this. Such as Anointed Procession. This is interesting. If I attack with everything, I get to flip the Legion's Landing. I probably just want to Servo Exhibition this turn, though, instead. Just make 4 1/1s. Feel great about life. Next turn, Adanto starts making 2 1/1s a turn. We still have our Archer of Araska that can draw cards if we want to. This is going pretty well. Even a Ballista isn't too terrifying right now. Like, we just have so many tokens. I guess a Verdurous Gearhulk would be pretty terrifying to beef up the Ballista, but otherwise I'm feeling okay. Okay, we have to... feel like we have to try and block this down. Otherwise they're just going to gain so much life. And we have to play around the Ballista ping, so it means we're just going to block with everything here. Like, we're going to rebuild so quickly, I don't mind losing some tokens, trading off with their resources. The question is, are we drawing a card or are we activating a Adanto? Maybe we can do both. Can we do both? Because we can make an extra mana of this, so we can use these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're 1 mana away from doing both, which is unfortunate. Kind of inclined just to draw a card. Is that crazy? We have like a bunch of 1s and 2s we can cast, and like I kind of don't want to just be using half my mana this turn. It's probably not the worst thing in the world. If they play a Verdurous Gearhulk, it puts us under a lot of pressure, but otherwise I think this is reasonably safe. Main phasing it is awkward against specifically Duress, but we have lots of 1s and 2s we can cast if we hit them, so I think I prefer main phasing it there. And now we get to go Schramm's Expertise and Adanto next turn, because we spent a turn on Arch. Jadelight Ranger. Powerful magic. Probably dumping the Servant into the yard, and they probably dumping this Fatal Push too. Yep. And Siphoner. Okay, that's a good one. The Siphoner is a really good one. Yeah, the Schramm's Expertise is going to be so good. For sure, Stephen. This Angel would be pretty good too. So how are we using our mana this turn? If we activate Adanto, we have 5 left, so we could Angel. I think I just want to Schramm's though. It uses our mana less efficiently, but it's a bit less scary in the face of like a potential Scarab God. I guess if they had a Scarab God, they'd have cast it already. Maybe we just want to use our mana as efficiently as possible. I think I'm just going to do this. If they have a Scarab God, it's kind of a nightmare, but the fact that this can cast a free drop really easily if we draw one makes me inclined to sit on it. Dupe. Am I attacking with these 2/2s? Probably next turn is when we start attacking. This turn I'm just going to ship it back. For sure, Stephen. I think the hesitation I had over drawing cards was because, partially because of Verdurous Gearhulk would have set us so far behind if we hadn't developed our board enough, but mainly because we already had lands in hand, so it's not like we were trying to draw into our land drops to like consistently hit lands the rest of the game. But I agree that just like drawing cards was definitely better there. It's just a much better use of our mana. Yeah, that is definitely true. The Angel was probably getting pinged at some point there. That was a fun game. Ballista is a really big problem for this deck, but Archer, Raska, and Anointed Procession together play over it pretty well. I added a second Arch to the deck yesterday over one of the Scavenger Grounds, because the Scavenger Grounds have been kind of unimpressive. And the Arch has like really overperformed in those sorts of matchups. Right, this hand is decent. It needs some land drops, but if we hit our land drops, like we're gonna go very, very wide. I got that impression, Stephen. I got that distinct impression. Don't ask me how. Ooh, Plains. Plains is dreamy. Means we stop taking damage off our lands. Means we hit our land drops for this to build up to these anointed processions. Arch of Orazka's one of my favourite cards in Standard. It's like exactly what I want to be doing, but it's also at like this really fair rate where it never feels like it's completely taking over the game. Another land drop is excellent. Am I attacking here? I'm a bit scared of, I think I have to attack because I don't have any Pride of Conquerors in hand. And our opponent's deck likely contains Appeal to Authority. So taking some critters off their board is really good for us. There's a decent chance they don't even block here because of Appeal to Authority. Yeah, okay, they're blocking. That's fine. We're gaining the life here, which we're really happy about. So we're going to spend the next couple turns making processions. Hopefully we draw a nice token maker in that time. Again, I'm inclined just to try and trade my Sacred Cat here. Like, I'm pretty... That is going to be a huge shame, Stephen. For sure. Yeah, if they trade here, I'm really happy, because I want the cat in the yard for these processions. If they don't trade, I gain a life and deal with damage. So either way, it's just like a really good attack for us. We're happy with either result. Is this Jade? Oh, we didn't look at what this did. It drew a Hashep Oasis, okay. Legion's Landing, they're going to keep that. It's a pretty good one. Opponent is not interested in any of the small ball token effects at the moment. Ooh, that is exciting. I am so excited about this next turn. I'm actually going to attack with this cat here, I think. I don't know, I kind of want to block with it, honestly. I don't think they're going to block this if I attack, so I'm going to hold it back. I kind of just want to have it on defense. And then next turn we make 8 1/1s that are secretly 2/2s. I haven't played this version. I played a really bad version. It went like 8-1 in the PTQ the other week. It had the Gaia's Cradle that finds a creature and Ballista and a few other things like that, and I was really, really unimpressed by it. Like, so many of the cards and it just felt so clunky to me. I also just don't enjoy playing with these cards very much. I find the Explorers can feel kind of anemic. So I'm a bit terrified of Appeal to Authority, but we're going to get a lot of tokens. Oh, was that Raph Levy's version? I didn't realise he was responsible for it. The person who played it was Laurie Pisper. Wow, this is a 4/4. Gas. I kind of want to attack with my 4/4. We lose for 4 toughness on our side, but seems pretty great. If it trades off with some of that board, that's pretty good. Yeah, and when they do hit lands, you just have like this really understated creature. It's like, Silvergill Adept's a good card, but it's partially a good card because, like, of synergies with the other cards in Merfolk decks. Merfolk Branchwalker is just, like, way different. This is a hell of a card. This is also a hell of a card. What are we doing here? If we attack with everything, they can block 6 things and they die? I'm pretty sure that's what happens, right? We have 10 critters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they do block everything, they lose all their team as well. Now, this seems like a pretty ludicrous attack. Ah, okay. It was definitely that sort of build. So. Oh wow, they're crewing up the boat. I am so excited to cast this Pride of Conquerors. You like putting the opponent in the graveyard. I also enjoy that. Result of combat. -2. Plague Wind. Best bit was the boat even died because it blocked us and a Pawn Sentry. This card has been, like, legitimately good. It's been so much better than the Trinketeer was. Do we want anything? I guess maybe the Anointed Priests are okay. I don't think any of this stuff appeals. But I wouldn't mind some Anointed Priests. Just to, like, especially with us on the draw, beefing out our life total makes us a lot less weak to Appeal to Authority, which is going to be one of the main ways we lose. So we could cut a couple of these Snub Horns for a couple Anointed Priests, maybe? These also just block their tokens pretty well. Maybe we just want all 4. We can, like, trim on some other stuff. Trim a Queen's Commission. And trim, like, something expensive, since they're a fairly aggressive deck. On the draw we could even cut a Pride of Conquerors, but I think I'm just going to cut an Angel. The Angels aren't great against the boat, since they just get shot down pretty easily. This hand is delightful. Got 1 into Servo Exhibition, threatening to flip the landing. Right. Another land, it's not ideal, but this is still looking pretty good for us. Mainly need to draw some sort of late game now. I do wonder if this Scavenger Grounds just wants to be like a 3rd Arch of Orazca. It's not ridiculous, right? Ooh, the value. This is interesting. I think I'm gonna Servo Exhibition here. Because if I can flip the Legion's Landing next turn, I get to cast Shram's Expertise. Hopefully they won't have another creature that's good at blocking our 1/1s. Okay, that one's fine. Like, they're going to gain a bit of life off this attack, but that's really not the end of the world. Alright, awkwardly, because of the sequencing of these, we don't gain life, but still, we're very happy with this attack. For sure, Stephen. I mean, I guess the exception is when you have Pride of Conquerors in hand, sometimes you just don't need to draw anything, but... I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. Like, we're still winning a lot with it, right? Even if we are entering that sort of mindset a lot with the deck. The sequencing on this is so awkward that we don't gain the life. This has not been the most impressive Anointed Priest in the world. So the one thing I'm scared of at the moment, there's not a lot I'm scared of at the moment, I think we're pretty far ahead. But the one thing I'm scared of is them playing a Skyboat next turn to start mowing through our forces. I mean, that's just partially the nature of critical mass decks, right, Stephen? Like, very few of the cards in this deck are individually powerful. I think I'm just going to swing with my team here. They get to block 1 damage, but then we get to make 2 tokens to replace our lost critters. I guess we don't want to lose the Anointed Priest, so we can just attack with the servos. We still get to deal 4, which is pretty good. Okay, did that the wrong way. Anyway, get to deal 4, which is nice. And then we'll gain a couple life off our tokens. So they're going to keep gaining life off this Harvester, but that's fine. It means they have less blockers back. And it's not really threatening us that much. We're even gaining life off our Priest and our Vampire, so it's not really like they're pressuring our life total particularly. Again, the only thing we're really scared of here is a boat. Another Harvest is pretty good, simply because it insulates their life total so much, but like, our Adanto is going to do so much work that I'm not too worried. Oh my god. That's so good. They have a Thrashing Brontodon. I guess this isn't actually good, is it? That's really sad. The Thrashing Brontodon. Ruining our hopes and dreams. Because of the Brontodon, do we just want to activate Adanto instead? Maybe we do. Yeah, I think we just want to activate Adanto instead. I'm actually not going to attack here. So I don't really want to flip this and lose, like, the Lotus Petal effect. Because as it is, next turn, I can cast the Procession, flip this, activate Adanto, and then force them to Brontodon. So I think I just want to hold on to this Lotus Petal effect. And, like, dealing a couple damage isn't really worth losing that. And it's not like we're sad to be spending a turn just going wider instead. Instead of losing a token. Jadelight Ranger. Sure thing. They hit 2 lands. That's pretty scary. That means we could have a boat in our future next turn. Again, the boat is the one thing we're scared of at the moment. Since it will just start mowing through our tokens and get to deal with our Anointed Priest, which gets rid of some of our life gain as well. Yeah. So here's a Branch Walker. So they just hit another land, which is fine. I'm actually going to Field of Ruin the Shepherd Dunes, I think. Or maybe this Hashep Oasis. Maybe I'm more scared of the Hashep Oasis. Like pumping a flyer. That makes sense. Let's just get rid of this Oasis. We're just crossing our fingers that they don't have one of their free boats in hand. So I just don't think we're well equipped to deal with that. Okay, so I can cast the Procession attack and then get to use this landing. And it forces them to sack the Brontodon, which is nice. Good morning. How are you, Bamatombo? I lose more tokens than I gain this way, which isn't great. Maybe I'm not meant to attack here, but I really want to flip this landing to make a token. Yeah, I think we are definitely attacking because we want to make another token with this Adanto. And once this is flipped, we hold their Brontodon kind of hostage. In fact, if they block with the Brontodon, or animate the Harvester with the Branch Walker, like either of those are good times. Yeah, so now that they're animating the Harvester with the Branch Walker, we activate our Adanto, because then they have to sack this Brontodon on our Procession, which means they don't get to block a token with it, which is really nice. Oh wow, what? They're just letting us make 2 more tokens. That's so good for us. Like, getting the extra token off the Procession. I'm really surprised by that. I guess they get to block a token anyway, but we still get the extra life off this Priest. And I feel like they're going to have to kill the Procession at some point. Realistically. I'm very surprised they didn't just kill the Procession. Anyway, fingers crossed they don't have Skyboat. That is what we are hoping for. As long as they don't have Skyboat, we are in a fine position here. Yeah, I'm not... Appeal's kind of scary, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Like, it's only +5 at the moment. They have this Authority in their yard, but ooh, SRAM's Expertise casting Appeal is scary. Jeez. That's a lot scarier. 12 power lifelink flyer. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So they get to tap down 2 creatures and force us to block. Okay, we are now in some trouble. They don't get to kill the Procession though. Okay, they're not casting Authority at all. Interesting. Yeah, these are definitely some beats. So yes, we're gonna try and take down this Branch Walker and block this just to save ourselves some life. That's okay. I've really been enjoying playing with this deck. Have you had a chance to play it? Not lethal, no problem. Yeah, exactly. I think I like these blocks. It forces us to spend our turn getting our Anointed Priest back, but like that might force them to sack the Brontodon on the procession finally, which is pretty good for us. Just like getting the body off the table. Yeah, they're deciding not to kill the Anointed Priest. Maybe because of... So I like the idea of this block, because we get to keep the Vampire, but maybe we want the Anointed Priest to die, so we're meant to block the Brontodon with it. It's kind of close. Oh, sweet. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I've been really enjoying this list. I've been having pretty good results with it so far. I'm trying a version without the Trinketeers at the moment, because I think the Trinketeers are probably the weakest card in the deck. It's been going okay so far. Okay, another Anointed Priest is interesting. So I'm going to flash this one back, and then make a token, because that's just the way for us to gain the most life possible, and use our mana best. We're going to attack with this Vampire token, just to ensure we gain the life. We just want to keep our life total high so we don't die to these Harvesters. Obviously they have 2 Authorities in their yard, but I think we should be able to play through Authority okay. And if they want to spend their whole turn casting the 2 Authorities, I think that's pretty decent for us. Cool. Oh no, the boat. Okay, this is the card we were scared of. Now we probably can't win the game, now that this is in play. Like, we were doing pretty well, but the boat's just going to eat through so much of our stuff. I guess if we draw another Anointed Procession... No, we're just going to take too much in the air. I think we're probably going to struggle to win this now. You have no idea what to play, Cambo? Oh, the old-fashioned version. I've been wanting to try out the new-fashioned black-white version with Pride. I think Pride of Conquerors is just so absurd. The card is utterly disgusting. I don't know. I've been really enjoying Grixis Energy, and I've been really enjoying these like white token decks. I think I just can't beat this, but I guess I'll take a draw step and see what I hit. That doesn't do it. No. Yeah, they're just gonna get to kill us in the air next time. Yeah, people are really sleeping on Pride. The card is just like so absurd. I almost wonder if we want a binding, just because of how problematic the boat is. Kind of unsure on that. Like, that whole game, the boat was the only card we were fearing, right? So maybe it's worth just bringing in a dedicated answer. That makes sense, Cambo. Like, one of my teammates is still playing PPTQs, even though he's on my team for the RPTQ. Just because it's like a chance to play Magic. Might just bring in like both of these and take out these Snubhorns and go a bit bigger. It's not unreasonable. I think I kind of like that. I think the binding just gives us a way to play through boat. And I feel like post-board the games are going to be a bit slower than pre-board anyway. So leaning on Snubhorn for more aggressive starts isn't so necessary. Also, Snubhorn's probably the worst card in our deck against the boat. So if we're considering that as like the scariest card in our deck, insulating ourselves against it a bit makes sense. Cool. Well, if we draw a land next turn, we're going to have turn 3 Saram's Expertise, which is really strong. So we're really hoping to hit this land this turn. If we hit this land, we're just going to kill our opponents so quickly. Wow, they're dumping the boats. They must be looking for lands. So sad. So sad. I think I still want to flip this. I think that makes sense. Maybe we just cast our Anointed Priest this turn, though. Like, we lose a token to make a token. But next turn we get to cast this anyway if the expertise, if we hit our land drop. I'm just going to make the priest and pass. I think I prefer this over running out the landing for the sake of getting in 2 damage. And then next turn we'll hopefully hit our land drop, get to go this into this, and then just like double overrun the turn afterwards to kill them. Hey there, David. Hope you are doing well. I guess the downside to sequencing things like this is we potentially lose more critters in combat on the turn that we're flipping this, but I'm pretty happy to trade for these X1s as things played out. These are the best attacks. Sure. We're just going to cast this commission post-combat. Like, trading off creatures isn't the best for us because we have these Pride of Conquerors in hand, but it's still fine. We're still going to rebuild pretty well. No, game 2, things stalled out a bit because of our opponent had 2 Aethersphere Harvesters, and then they played a Skyboat, which was kind of a nightmare. Oh, is this SRAM's expertise? Okay, this is scary, just because it builds up such a big board that they're going to be able to block us really well. So we really, really need to hit this land next turn for this expertise. What did they reveal? They just revealed a bunch of lands. Awesome. That is an excellent draw. So let's just do this. And then next turn we just get to start swinging, putting our opponent in a situation where they don't really have good blocks against our Pride of Conquerors. Hopefully they don't have another SRAM's expertise here, since that would make it much easier for them to chump block their way through the Prides. But I think we're looking pretty great here. Our life total is even really high, so there's no chance of them pressuring us anytime soon. Ooh, Thrashing Brontodon, that is fine. Alright, so how are we doing this? I mean, Legion's Landing kind of does that, Stephen, to an extent. I'm almost wondering, it's the most likely way they block results in us just priding once, right? Which means we kind of want to make a token off this before this flips, to guarantee we get the token for this turn. It's so unlikely they block in such a way where we want to double pride, that I think I'm just going to do this now, to like ensure we use our mana nicely. Otherwise we're going to lose this land to Legend Rule, and then not get to make a token for the turn. I love Knight of the White Orchid. That's one of my favourite cards. So we keep the untapped one. Like, this really telegraphs we have Pride of Conquerors, but our opponent's probably aware of that anyway. Like, it's still just going to be great, so... Like, these are basically their best possible blocks against Pride of Conquerors, and it still leaves us so far ahead. Like, taking a huge chunk out of their board, dealing 12 damage. And still having a very threatening board ready for next turn. Okay, another SRAM's expertise is how they get back in this game. Because now they have enough chump blockers to survive an onslaught. So that's certainly quite good for them. Honestly, them having another SRAM's expertise could make this game a bit harder to win. Whoa! Their appeal to authoritying on their Brontodon? That's pretty... Okay, they're just trying to push damage and flip their landing, so they have some amount of long game. I mean, that makes sense. I guess we're just gonna take this, because I want to build up my board as wide as possible. So, I'm not convinced priding here actually achieves very much. They lose most of their board, but then we're just unable to attack through on future turns. I almost just want to, like, start Adantoing so that we can take out a bigger chunk of their board on the turn when we find the alpha attack. Is that unreasonable? Maybe that's fine. I guess if we attack with everything and pride. Yeah, you think just I think I agree with you that we just make the token. It also just uses our mana really nicely that way. And then if we hit a land, we get to binding the Brontodon and do a pride attack next turn and take a huge chunk out of their board. They do make the tokens too, but when we attack our tokens into their tokens, we end up ahead because of the Pride of Conquerors. But that is a good point that they're going to be making tokens too. This is an interesting situation. I'm not too worried about them killing us anytime soon though, with our life total still so high, even after their big attack last turn. Okay, you tap down my critters. I guess theirs have vigilance, that's pretty good. We might actually just be forced to trade off here partially, right? That kind of sucks. I guess that's the downside to not attacking last turn, we're just forced to like trade off now anyway. To preserve our life total a bit. So we take 8 this way. You want to quad block the Bronto. Oh. Yeah, I agree with you, Stephen. That sounds really good to me. And then we just have this 1/3 blocking their 1/1s forever. I think I like that plan. And then the Ixalan's Binding is online too, to deal with their next, like, big spell. That's a really... It's not a really good draw, because it still just uses our mana so awkwardly. I think I'm still going to cast this. No, I'm just going to make an Adanto token. This is fine. I'm just going to pass the turn, make an Adanto token. Hope to hit a land next turn so I can Exhibition and Adanto. I think this just uses our mana a bit better over like the following turns. It does leave us a bit vulnerable to getting like overrun by their critters, but I think this is gonna work out fine. Like, they're only attacking for 8, we're gonna gain a couple life off this token. Because of like the life gain of this and the life link. We're just gonna trade off here quite happily. Preserve our life total. Oh my god, not hitting the land is so sad. I'm just gonna cast 2 exhibitions here, I think. I just want to be a bit more insulated against attacks, I think. And gain the extra burst of life of our Anointed Priest. It's a bit sad that now if we draw lands, we're not using our mana nicely. Or as nicely. But I think this is the best route. With the Ixalan's Binding, we can actually just play this game for a little while. Because we have an answer to anything like a boat or... I'm a big fan of just like pushing 10 creatures onto their creature for sure, Stephen. Alright, so this turn I attack with everything and hope they don't have Settle the Wreckage to make me sad. Yes, that makes sense. They have to block 3 things, right? So we get to eat 3 things with our Pride of Conquerors. Which gets us just a bit ahead in the token race. Yeah, I think this is good. No, they have to block 4... No, only 3 things because of the lifelink. Still, this gets us a bit ahead in the tokens race. Which seems good. Maybe we're meant to wait a couple more turns before doing this, but... Octoblock. Oh my god. They're also just taking like a significant amount of damage if they were to do the minimum required blocks as well. Awesome. So we're gonna get rid of 4 of their tokens, deal some damage, be ahead in the token race. We even have this Shepherd Dunes to threaten more overruns as well. This game's been kind of sweet. Like, super grindy. They can't really attack here, like, they're just gonna die to my Shepherd Dunes if they do. Opponent disagrees. Opponent disagrees. Does this mean they have a Fumigate? Or, like, maybe it just means they have a SRAM's expertise instead. This is a fairly aggressive block, I feel like. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. I just... Like, whittling their board down makes sense against Appeal to Authority as well, which is kind of nice, just to, like, insulate ourselves against that. Ooh, hello friend. So what am I doing here? They get to have 4 tokens, they can block a bunch of ours. I could just Shepherd Dunes and attack. They probably don't have many good blocks, so I'm kind of sad to be down a land. But, like, having these all be 2/2s, they'd have 4 2/2, they'd have 4 1/1s, they'd have to block our 2/2s. They'd take 4, gain 1, so they'd end up in 2. And they'd lose half their board. That seems pretty good to me. I'm gonna go for that. Like, falling behind on land drops is a bit scary if they do manage to extend this game. But this seems pretty good. Yeah, I was wondering that too, Stephen. I think Pride of Conquerors is just like a much more powerful card than Appeal to Authority. Like, Appeal to Authority is great, but Especially with when you're going so wide. It helps you win mirrors too. Oh, that makes sense, Jeff. Just like, you don't need any other interaction if you're just killing your opponent with pump spells, I guess. So they're on 2. It's pretty scary for them. Any other overrun effect probably just kills them. Right on time. I asked for an overrun effect, and I received one. Awesome. So now 2-0. The second match went on a while, but this deck is performing well. Yeah, exactly. That sounds really good to me, to be honest. Like, it does feel like these white tokens decks do just, like, want to not be interacting with their opponents too much. Just get your opponent dead. Play to the board. I love it too. It's so delightful. I'm so happy we removed the Trinketeers as well. I have not missed them in the slightest yet. For the Swarm. Oh my god. I won't be at Darksphere. I'm probably playing... I'm probably double queuing the PTQ with... We're also having some friends around on Saturday to play Smash Bros. So I'll probably be alternating between PTQing and Smash Brosing. Hey there, Sandro. Hope you're doing okay. Wait, this is exciting. Currently 2-0 with this mono white token strategy. The changes have felt really, really solid so far. Someone suggests, like, the other option I want to try out is playing start to finish with, like, minimal black sources, just as, basically as additional Queen's Commissions instead of the Snubhorn Sentries. That's certainly an option. This hand looks atrocious, but welcome to this deck. I mean, part of the advantage of, if I do play this tokens deck in the PTQ, which is not impossible, it's not like the matches go on that long. You do just kill your opponent a lot. So, hopefully I can manage the double queuing okay. Well, we are gonna go wide. Triple 1-drop start versus mono red. Do I attack? I think I attack here. Maybe I don't. I kind of want to flip the landing, but I don't feel like I'm flipping the landing next turn anyway. I'd prefer to block with the Sacred Cat instead of the Vampire. Like, this way I don't gain the extra life off the attack with the cat, but I guess this is probably our best option. Protects against, like, multiple Bomat starts here as well, or Bomat into Kenra. Because we really want to block down this Bomat if we can. that is definitely a net negative, for sure, Steven. Yeah, I'm trying out a black-white version later, Jack, that has been put up like a 5-0 recently, and seems really sweet. I could attack with this and they wouldn't block, but I also don't want to lose the body for flipping the Legion's landing, so I'm just going to hold it back again. Like, I do love the idea of start to finish. We're already playing Queen's Commission, so I feel like start to finish would probably just be mostly upside on that. Right. If they can kill this cat, it's a bit scary, because then their courier gets back online. But then we just get to make 4 cats, so they can't really afford to kill the cat. It's just too risky for them. Which means this just gets to sit back on blocks forever. Hazoret also wouldn't really be scary. We just get to make so many cats. I don't really know how we lose this. I guess I guess making our cat unable to block is pretty sad times. I just think the mono-red matchup's already so good that I'm not convinced it's too much of a loss, but remains to be seen. Like, the mono-red matchup has felt legitimately great with this deck. Especially your game ones. Like, you're in a weird situation where your game ones are actually better than your post-board games. Because, like, post-board, they become so much bigger. Okay, breaking on a token maker there is rough. Like, we have all the tools to win this game, but I could see us losing it just because of breaking on a token maker for a few turns. Yeah, this is a game we could actually quite easily lose, despite having everything we needed. Like, yes, we kind of flooded a bit, but not a huge amount. This Bomat Courier is getting scary. I mean, that's a lot of lifelinkers. They have another burn spell, they get to kill us. I'm probably gonna Field of Ruin that Grasping Dunes, just to stop them getting a lifelinker out of the way. So basically, if they draw a burn spell, we die. If they don't draw a burn spell, we win. That's how I think this goes. Yeah, that's in the black-white list we're playing later, Jack. The Weaponcraft Enthusiast. Oh, we also get to attack with the cat, which makes shock not lethal. So that's really nice. Yeah, for sure, we should definitely swing with the cat here. I'm gonna draw step, get rid of this Grasping Dunes. Doing it draw step so that they're more likely to destroy a land for the turn. Obviously they get to sack the Bomat Courier to draw 3 cards to try and kill us. But yeah, we're not dead to shock, we're only dead to... They have like 2 lightning strikes left in their deck that kill us, basically. So if they draw one of their 2 remaining lightning strikes, we die, otherwise we win. Is how this is gonna go. Because next turn we get to like overrun these vampires, attack for so much lifelink. This is weird timing. I'd thought they'd want to attack with the courier and get the extra card. Like, I don't think they have any hasty threats that are actually relevant here, right? Maybe they, like, main deck a Blazing Volley, but that seems kind of unlikely. Cool. So we're probably going to win this. Since we're going to gain 18 next turn. Opponent probably just has 0 outs now, except for like weird sideboard cards in their main deck. Awesome. So, post board, we get to bring in these Anointer Priests, if I can ever click on them. And that's all I've actually been bringing in for the matchup. It used to be we took out the Master Trinketeers in this matchup, but obviously they are no longer in... We could actually bring in this Baffling End too, I guess. Obviously the Master Trinketeers are no longer in the... main deck. Yeah, this deck's red matchup's like really good, for sure. What I want to take out, I might take out a Pride of Conquerors, like being on the draw against red. I guess these are good against Blazing Volley. So maybe we have to keep them in anyway, as like a protection from the sweeper. We can take out some expensive stuff. Like, maybe, okay, take out a procession. I don't like taking out all the processions, because they tend to go bigger post-board. So you have to have a way to go over the top of them. And I kind of want to take out some stuff that just makes 1/1s to insulate us against Blazing Volley. So I could take out, like, some number of this stuff. Maybe just some expertises. Like, this is pretty bad against Blazing Volley, but it's pretty good in the games where they don't have Blazing Volley. I can honestly see just trimming some Angels. Is that crazy? It, like, insulates us against Blazing Volley, it lowers our curve, which is nice. I think I'm going to cut a couple Angels just to lower our curve. Or just cut all of them, even. I'm not convinced this is the correct approach, but I'm trying out new things. Since I don't have the Trinketeers to board out anymore. I think the Angels are just kind of awkward post-board. We'll see how it goes. It might be that you're just not meant to take out, like, potential big lifelinkers versus red, but I want to see if I can cope without them and how it feels. If we're taking out all 4 Angels, it might be we want all 4 processions in, just so that we're still able to go over the top of our opponent. That's like another thing to consider. Ooh, they can kill the vampire and get their courier through. It's pretty scary. The courier's getting large. Get our 1/3 down. Hopefully they don't have another removal spell so we can stop the courier from getting in. For sure, Bam. Alright, I'm gonna get to make some tokens. I'm just gonna... Yeah, just gonna do this. Make 3 tokens. Hope they don't have Blazing Volley. If they have Blazing Volley, my heart will break, but... if they don't, we're just really well insulated against their board. Cool, sacking the courier. Once again, sacking main phase instead of on attacks. But I guess they could actually hit hasty creatures here that they want to attack with. It's not that unrealistic. Yeah, opponent has conceded. That was convincing. So yeah, I'm not convinced you actually need the Angels versus red. I don't know, I've half considered whether you're just not meant to have Angel of Invention in your deck. Which sounds weird. Like, if you go black-white, you probably just cut all the Angels, because then you get to play Stockpile as a way to go long. It's kind of awkward. So, like, Angel's amazing in the matchups where you and your opponent aren't interacting very much, and they, like, other white token decks, or the green, the green-white deck, things like that. But it's pretty bad against Scarab God, and, like, heinous against Scarab God. And it's also not great against, like, the sideboard sweepers out of decks like Mono Red. In that it does the same thing as the rest of your deck, but... yeah, in Mono White you have to play the Angel. I agree with that completely, Stephen. I just mean, if we were to end up going black-white eventually, or settling on, like, some sort of list halfway between this and the black-white list we're playing later, I just wonder if, in that situation, you move away from the Angel. Simic Guildmage, thank you so much for that subscription, Phil. I really appreciate it. No, Muse up on the bed. I can bring her down for tomorrow's stream. But but Mew will return. Gosh, it's so good to be back streaming. Feels so nice. I could have left my cat back to block the Siphoner. Like, that was something I kind of considered, but I feel like regardless, they're going to get the Siphoner hit in. Like, they just Fatal Push a cat out of the way. I guess we're pretty happy if they Fatal Push a cat out of the way. I don't know. It's tricky. Like, this turn it's harder. Like, I could... Like, this turn I could legitimately hold the cats back to block the Siphoner. Feel like I just want to be pressuring them though. And like, as it is, they're gonna have to kill a vampire token to get an attack in. So the Scarab Gods out of blue-black are much scarier than the ones out of Grixis, entirely because of Champion of Wits. It lets them dump creatures in their yard. That usually it's fairly hard for them to get creatures in their yard because their creatures don't tend to trade in combat with us very much. It also just, like, having a champion in the yard is so good for them as well. So, I could see Scarab God being a lot scarier this game than we're used to. Okay, spending the turn taking our Angel. We're pretty sad to lose the Angel, but it's not the end of the world. I do have the Scavenger Grounds, it's worth noting. So I do have some amount of play against the Scarab God, which is nice. Ooh, kind of just want to take down the Siphoner. We lose our tokens, which sucks. But we're not going to have an opportunity to do this again, I don't think. I'm not convinced this is correct. Like, it's possible we just want to leave them with the Siphoner and be pressuring them instead, but I'm going to go for the block there. Then I'm going to Field of Ruin their Field of Ruin. Oh, we're definitely making a cap. And then I'm going to Field of Ruin the Field of Ruin. I guess I have to do it now, otherwise they sack it in response. I don't know. It's probably not too relevant. So we're flooding out a bit, but we're still kind of in a fine position because we have the Scavenger Grounds to play against Scarab God. I really want to cast this, but I do just have to spend the turn making sure they can't get this Champion of Wits back. I could attack with the cat first. Is that okay? No, I'm just gonna sack the Scavenger Grounds and pass the turn. Like, I could just hold up the Scavenger Grounds until they activate this to hold their activation hostage, but then we just, like, triple Stone Rain ourselves for the rest of the game, which is not ideal. It's likely that the turn before last we meant to play out the Shepherd Dunes after killing their Field of Ruin. Then we could have sacked the Shepherd Dunes to there. Oh, thank you so much for the subscription, Jack. I really appreciate that. It's awesome to have your support. Thank you so much. So, it's likely the turn before last we meant to play the Shepherd Dunes after Field of Ruining their Field of Ruin. Then we could have sacked the Shepherd Dunes to the Scavenger Grounds and still had a Scavenger Grounds in play to deal with the Scarab God later on. Yeah, I don't know about that, Stephen. It's really weird. I've seen it work on other people's streams, but for some reason it doesn't work on mine. I don't entirely understand why. Let's attack with this cat, because if they block it, we get 2 cats. And it also just gets rid of the cat from being in play, which makes the Scarab God less scary. Because we really don't want them making a 4/4 lifelink. Because if we just left it there, they could Fatal Push the cat later on and reanimate it. Whereas this way, we just make sure the cat can't end up in the graveyard. We're going to have a similar risk with this one later on down the road, but getting one of them dealt with is still pretty good for us. So many kitties. So, kind of curious what they do here. We're not in, like, the greatest position at the moment, but this procession has our draw steps, like, very live. Ooh, she's scary. She's going to fill the yard with creatures they can reanimate, which makes the Scarab God a lot scarier. We can't really pressure her either, which is really bad for us. Yeah. Now that they have the Liliana in play, I'm just going to run out the Sacred Cats, I guess. It's kind of awkward because they can get the Ballista back and ping the cats down. I don't know, I'm not really sure how we win this game, other than running very well on our draw steps. If we draw Pride of Conquerors next turn, that might do a decent amount of work at, like, helping pressure the Liliana. But I've definitely been finding these blue-black lists a lot scarier than the Grixis ones. They need to stop playing good cards. They do. Give us time for our bad cards to do things. It is a bit unfortunate we've drawn all 4 Sacred Cats this game, since it's one of the worst cards in the matchup, but the Grixis list is the blue-black list is just a lot scarier than the Grixis list for this deck, I found, because we don't really care about Whirler Virtuoso at all, whereas Champion of Wits is actually really good against us because it keeps the Scarab God very alive, as does Liliana, whereas Scarab God out of Grixis just doesn't do that much. Yeah, so killing our Shepherd Dunes. Luckily, if they ultimate Lily, we still get to keep our zombie cats, which is kind of funny. They realise they don't want to attack because that just lets us block with our cats. Right. Well, I'm going to swing these cats at Liliana because I can reanimate them as zombies, which is kind of nice. So if they do block, it's good for us. If they don't block, it's good for us. And they don't have Scarab God mana up at the moment, so it's like the ideal opportunity to get in this attack. Cool. And now that Liliana isn't about to ultimate, we can just cast our Queen's Commission quite happily. So the one thing I'm really scared of at the moment is they can start adding counters to their Ballista and then reanimating like big 4/4 lifelinkers that are going to be really hard for us to ever attack through. So that's definitely a scary direction the game could head down if they decide to do that. Probably the best draw for us at the moment. We've added a second Archer Erasika to the deck. Drawing one of those would be really good. Just like help us battle back against our opponent's card advantage. Get like the quantity of resources we need to be back in the game. A Pride of Conquerors would also be really strong here as well. to like overrun them. Am I blocking here? I might block the Scarab Guard. They're dealing 3 damage a turn, so I kind of want to pad out my life total a little bit with one of these Lifelinkers. Kind of makes sense to me. Okay, they're attacking with those critters. Yeah, I think I'm kind of interested in blocking the Scarab God here. Like, Pride of Conquerors is such a good draw anyway that I don't think we need to play towards it in order to make it good. I think insulating ourselves to dying to the drain effect on this is pretty appealing. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. We're still gonna go to like 7, so this still kills us in a couple triggers, but okay, that's the dream. That is the dream. We're just going to swing out here. Are we swinging at their face or at Liliana? Probably just at their face, right? And they're going to block with 3 zombies, but still take a huge amount. Awkwardly, they get to reanimate some Lifelinkers with Scarab God. Maybe the risk of them reanimating Lifelinkers means we have to attack Liliana. But I think we're not winning this game if we don't go at their face. Ooh. This means they can't activate Scarab God this turn, which is really good for us. Because now if a Sacred Cat dies in combat, we get to reanimate it. I have not done the math on whether we're dead on the backswing, but I'm not sure we have the luxury to worry about that. We're gonna gain so much life, we're probably just fine. They're not killing the zombies for some reason. I think they'd want to take our zombie cats out of play. They're higher value than our vampires. Because of Liliana Ultimate. And killing a couple of these zombies means they're going to be dealing less to us with their Scarab God triggers as well, which is fairly nice. So it's still fairly unlikely to win this game, but we bought ourselves a bit of time. And we still have some good draw steps available to us. Like any token maker like SRAM's expertise into a Pride of Conquerors is probably strong enough to win us the game. Snubhorn versus Skymarcher. I think I prefer Snubhorn. I think so the part of what I like about Snubhorn is it plays well against the sweepers. Like Golden Demise and Blazing Volley and Fiery Cannonade, none of them hit X3s, whereas they all hit Skymarcher Aspirant. So I think that's a really nice upside to Snubhorn. I think another nice upside is it plays better against burn-based removal. So like the shocks and magma sprays your opponent has in their deck are still bad against you. Whereas when you play a Skymarcher, they're much happier to trade it for a Skymarcher than they are for, like, you know, half of a token generator. So I feel like those are pretty meaningful differences in my mind. So this turn we need to attack Liliana, right? Otherwise she's going to ultimate and kill our vampire tokens next turn. So I'm going to attack Liliana with these. It's possible they tick up Ballista to shoot these down, which is a bit scary. But just going to hope they don't do that. There's also merit to just playing out this game, just because these games go really long and our opponent's like almost 4 minutes behind on clock at the moment. Like, I could very reasonably see this match going to time. Flunging is for closers. Oh my god. Deal damage to their clock. It's a weird situation when my opponent's like behind on clock relative to me. I don't like this new world we're in, where I can actually play at a decent pace sometimes. This world is scary to me. I guess Scarab God triggers are a nightmare for the clock though. Merit to playing at this game. Translation, my clock is still in the black. Oh my god. Yep, ticking up Ballista so they can shoot down some tokens. Our sideboard makes this matchup a lot easier for us post-board. They gain Golden Demise, which is really scary, but we get to swap like 8 cards. Potentially. I can't remember exactly what our sideboard looks like at the moment. It might not be quite that much, but we definitely get to gain a lot post-board. So I guess we just block the most damage, so we don't die. Okay. Still dead. We're way ahead on clock, and we're going to have a lot of nice sideboard cards. So we get to bring all this stuff, and the Ixalan's Binding. So the cards I don't like are the Sacred Cats and the Angel of Inventions. Angel of Invention's really scary against Scarab God. If they reanimate an Angel, we just lose the game. We can't afford to take that risk. I think I like this. I could bring in the Baffling End 2 over the final Sacred Cat. It's not the worst in the world. It deals with Siphoner and like Champion of Wits. Champion of Wits is not particularly scary, but Siphoner is. The Sacred Cat's quite bad. I'm gonna do this. This is like quite bad too, but I think I slightly prefer the Baffling End over the cat here. Cool. So entering game 2. I'm currently 3-0 with this deck, I think. I think this is... Yeah, this is the 4th match, so we're 3-0 with it. This is quite bad too. Autumn looking at her 75. Yeah, that is accurate. That is an accurate description of most of the cards in the deck. This sounds nice. It's got a lot of long game in it. And it's got the servos for like a bit of early pressure. I almost wonder if I want to cast Treasure Map on turn 2 just so they can't negate it. I actually think this Treasure Map's like important enough that I'm just gonna get it down turn 2. So that they can't negate it. If they want to negate a servo exhibition, I'm very okay with that. Ooh, Ballista's terrifying. Anyway, get to start ticking up the map. Attacking with our 1/1s as well. Got a lot of nice stuff going on. Next turn we get to cast a couple 1/1s and take up our map again. If they attack here, then I will be deeply confused. This card is one of the bigger troubles for this deck, for sure. Ideally we'd have a second Spyglass in our sideboard, but I'm still kind of messing around with the sideboard a bit. The Dusk to Dawns have been really unexciting so far. I could see it being the case that we just don't want any sweepers in our board. I know I was really unhappy with the Settle the Wreckages. This is like decent. I kind of just want to bottom it though. I want to hit land drops so we can cast our Immortal Sun on time. Yeah, if they take our map hostage, my heart will break for sure. That would be a nightmare. I think this blue-black deck is, like, Hostage Take is another reason why this blue-black deck's better against us than Grixis. It's just a really good way of punishing map and Immortal Sun in post-board games. Is there any reason to expose this to a Field of Ruin? Probably not. So, next turn they get to start ticking up Ballista if they want, which is reasonably scary. Yeah, Snubhorn is not a land. I agree with that assessment. Because like 2/2 just blocks all our tokens forever. As silly as that sounds. And then they can ping them down. Yeah, more ballistas, okay. I kind of want this. If I take this and then I can start... Maybe I can bottom this land now. I can probably just bottom the land. Try and find some impactful spells. This is really annoying. The Field of Ruin's threatening our treasure map. I didn't think about that at all. That's actually really problematic. The Field of Ruin. That's another reason why blue-black's better against us as well, I guess. Flip the map now? Why flip it now? Oh, you're right. I should have done that. I didn't think of that, Stephen. Yep, you're right. We should have just flipped the map and played out the Immortal Sun. That was a really big mistake on my part. I didn't think of the fact we could just use Treasure Map as a ritual. Yeah, I know. It was not the best move on my part. Anyway, this is still going to work out okay. If I keep this, I get to draw a card of my Treasure Map, which is fairly exciting. I guess I'm going to get to draw a card of my Treasure Map anyway, because I can just use the other treasures to cast the Immortal Sun, so I might as well bottom this. That makes sense. So now I get to crack a treasure to draw a card, see if I hit my land drop. I do. Cast the Immortal Sun, at which point they mow down some tokens. They have to mow down the tokens here. Otherwise their ballistas aren't doing much anyway. I'm wondering if we just cast this Queen's Commission afterwards. I kinda want to not cast this so we can force them to use their Field of Ruin, but using this means we can flip landing next turn more likely, so we're probably just going to be using the treasures for this, since flipping the landing is really appealing to me. Obviously we get to cast Commission because of the cost reduction off Immortal Sun. I want them to have a Liliana in hand right now. That would be delightful. Against our Immortal Sun. So, really hoping they don't have an answer to this Immortal Sun. If they don't, we're in a great position. You like not playing the Commission just to force them to use the Field of Ruin? Like, that's pretty appealing, but I really want to flip this landing next turn, because then I can start pumping out tokens. We don't draw 2 more cards though, they crack their Field of Ruin, and we lose our Treasure Cove, Stephen. Like, we eat up 2 of their mana, which is pretty appealing, but we don't actually draw the cards. We just deny them 2 mana, and I think I'd rather make a token than deny them mana. because now we have the chance of making an extra token off of this. Okay, interesting. This is gonna get Field of Ruined, which is sad. I guess now they get to Field of Ruin the landing. Anyway, we're gonna Baffling End the Ballista. Cast the landing. I guess they're not gonna negate this anyway, so we just cast the landing first to see if they negate, and if they do, we get to draw a card of the Arch. Maybe that makes more sense. Okay, so this resolved. So now because of this, I want to Baffling End the Ballista and just attack and flip landing. Oh, this is only 1 mana. I'm so stupid. I know how cards work. We want to make a token anyway over draw a card, I think. Maybe we'd prefer to just draw a card. Maybe that's just better. Yeah, I completely forgot the cost reduction. Right. Well, I'm still gonna attack with all my critters to flip this. They get to Field of Ruin one of these, but I think that's fine. It forces them to use their mana, and like, we still get to keep the other one. I think I'm going to play out the Arch of Orazca with the intent of just drawing a card on their end step. I think I'd rather draw a card than make a token, but we'll see what they do for their turn before making that decision. Yeah, I completely forgot about the Immortal Sun reduction. It didn't end up mattering, but card has a lot of text, okay? They need something really good to get back in this game. Probably starts for Hostage Taker. Like, Field of Ruin, my Arch, play a Hostage Taker. Yeah, everyone does it, for sure, Stephen. Ooh, they're targeting the Arch, okay. I'm gonna take that as meaning the Arch is scarier and draw a card. Ixalan's Binding. That means we can deal with their Scarab God. We're not too scared of the Scarab God, but it still just gets their blocker out of the way, which is fairly appealing. Oh my god. I mean, that's understandable, Jack. Like, as I said, card has a lot of text. We've lost, got double Field of Ruined, so we've lost both our things, but we're still just drawing 2 cards a turn. We're gonna Binding their Scarab God as well. So, I'm not too sad about this situation. Oh wow, Golden Demise. Decent. Right. Let's cast some tokens. Get rid of your god. Remember binding. I remembered. I tapped correctly, okay? I got there. I successfully tapped 6 mana for my 2 4-mana spells. Oh, are they trying to cast Scarab God here? That's amazing. They tapped 5 mana and then untapped it all. Yeah, this binding is so sweet. Sheepish untapping. Yeah, we know what's up. For sure, Stephen. Alright, opponent also only has 8 minutes, and these games go long. I think I'm really happy with this sideboarding. We're just going to run it back. Taking out the Angels has felt really good. Hashtag sheepish untapping. Oh my god. Alright, I want to win this one. I want to be 4-0. I dream of a 4-0. Shatter paws into scoop. It's the best kind of scooping. I'll try my best, Steven. Ooh, this sounds nice. We have an answer to Scarabian Gods. And then some fairly powerful stuff going on later. When I say fairly powerful, ignore this card. I'm just gonna put this card in the corner. Treasure map. Dreamy. So this Siphoner is gonna get some beatdowns going, which is a bit scary. Is this a champion? So many 2-1s. I want to start ticking up my map, but I might just need to make some 1-1s next turn. Just to, like, clog up the board a bit. I think I do just need to make 1-1s next turn, rather than ticking up my map. Which is a bit sad. Like, maybe it's fine to take the damage, but... I guess if we tick up the map, we can try and dig towards like 1 or 2 drops. It's so unexciting though. Yeah, I'm just going to take a draw step. If we hit a 1 or 2, we can cast it with the map. Otherwise, we're just going to cast the commission and threaten some blocks. Like, the other option is if we take up map this turn. It's only not fine. Yeah, it's only not fine if they counter the commission. You're right. I think because of the way this hand is panning out, I actually want to not cast the commission, because then next turn I can commission, tick up map. The turn after I can play procession, flip the map, get 6 treasures. So I think I just have to cross my fingers and hope we don't get aggroed out here by this like fairly aggressive start. I think this just works out better for us in the long run, in terms of like making sure we're using all our mana properly. Okay, this is scary. This means they can deal with our tokens really easily. We might just have to keep that on top. So next time we can Queen's Commission. Turn after we can Expertise just to catch up if we need to. Makes sense. The other option is we could just make 5 tokens this turn. But again, it just doesn't use our mana very well. So I think I just want to commission here. And then next turn, if they don't hold up counter magic, we can go procession, flip map, cast expertise, get 6 1-1s. Which seems really strong to me. Yep, they can kill a token to get this glint sleeve in. They could also kill another one to get the champion in if they want. Depends how aggressive they want to be here. Oh, they're just going to spend the turn ticking up the ballista. It means we're taking 5. Yeah, the value is going to be amazing. The fact that we're going to get to do this properly because they don't have counter magic up. We just have to hope they don't have a Golden Demise, basically. Golden Demise is the thing we're really scared of here. So if I top this, I get to go Expertise into Commission. We still lose to Golden Demise. But if they don't have Golden Demise, like, we probably win the game. They probably have 2 Golden Demise in their sideboard. I'm going to take this risk. If they have Golden Demise, we lose Oh no, we needed a land to flip this, didn't we? I'm so stupid. This is fine though. We can still just make a bunch of tokens to block this turn, and then next turn flip the map. This is still fine. Like, I'm still pretty happy with this. This still, like, holds their forces back. That's true. Yeah, they'd need to play another critter to have City's Blessing, wouldn't they? On top of another land. So, not hitting a land drop there because of how I scryed. It's pretty awkward for these processions, but we've still got a decent number of blockers. So I'm feeling reasonably safe at the moment. Whoa. Okay. Opponent definitely wanted to win this one. I don't think we were beating this no matter what we did. This is the card you play if you want to beat tokens, 100%. Like, we can cast the Exhibition, they just take up Ballista and then kill us. Yep, that was quite something. Opponent paid our deck too much respect, they did. That's my first River's Rebuke I've had of this deck so far. We're still 3-1, so the 4-1 is still alive. But yeah, opponent paying serious respect to our deck. Anyway, so far I've been very happy with this swap. I'm not sure if Snubhorn Sentry is the best option over Trinketeer, but it's definitely felt better than Trinketeer. I mean, you're not wrong, Stephen. This is certainly a collection of Magic cards. Opponent played in the Mox, right? Riser. I'm pretty sure Riser was in the Mox. I love how every opening hand you just look at and, like, feel terrible about your life choices. Right, let's cast some Snubhorns for them to Fatal Push. Oh wow. Interesting. Get to attack for 1/1. Exciting times. I'm probably just gonna cast this commission. We could be greedy and save it for, like, after the procession, but I kind of like getting the damage in. And this way, if we hit a land next turn, we get to go procession, make our Snubhorns into free freeze, potentially. Oh my god, Stephen, that's heartbreaking. Alright. Did not get there on the Ascend front. Still, pretty good for us. That's, just making more 1/1s. I assume they're on, like, a red-black mid-range deck, based on how this is going. Like, the fact they have Ifnir Deadlands means they probably aren't Grixis. I'm not sure if Grixis can afford to, like, have this sort of thing in the mana base, but we'll see. Alright, just cast up 1/1s, keep going wide. Hopefully we hit that land drop next turn. If we hit the land drop, we could go, what does Expertise into Pride do? It's 5, 10, 19 damage. Expertise into Pride of Conquerors. I mean, the problem is, Stephen, they have, like, so many cards that are bad against us, they have to leave some in. I feel is how it goes generally. Am I meant to expertise into pride? Or just like procession? I feel like it's hard to lose either way, but it's interesting. I'm not really sure. You just play the procession, Stephen? Just like, I guess if they have a fatal push, then they're only taking like 9 on this attack. And like the procession's probably just gonna lock things up over the next couple turns. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. And they're probably forced to hold the Phoenix back here anyway, so it's not like they're pressuring us much. Yes, we're a bit scared of a Glorybringer, but not really that much. Okay, Liliana makes some blockers. So I'm going to expertise into Cat this turn, and then next turn we get to Pride of Conquerors. To like very convincingly kill our opponent. Yeah, if they don't have a main deck sweeper, this is probably pretty unbeatable for our opponent, for sure, Stephen. Four mana. What are they casting here? Glorybringer? Sure. Your dragon brings all the glory to the yard. I really want to cast this pre-combat to be technically correct, but I'm probably just meant to kill them, right? I'm probably just meant to kill them and not show them the Legion's Landing that they know we have in our deck. They definitely die here if they have Fatal Push, right? They Fatal Push this, they block 1, 2, 3, and they take 21. Yeah. So we just attack them and kill them. Otherwise we'd have to like try and deal with this Liliana so she doesn't ultimate away our board. But as it is, they're just super, super dead. Cool. They are the deadest. So it doesn't look like they have what's it called in their deck? Scarab God, because they're just black-red. So we don't need these silent gravestones. So this stuff looks pretty appealing. I could honestly bring in these for Glorybringers, but maybe that's just overkill. I think I like this stuff though, just to like make ourselves a bit grindier. It's kind of tough to know what to cut though. Like, we actually want Angels in this matchup because they don't have Scarab God. The Cats are kind of bad. They're not like the absolute worst. We probably just cut Cats though. Bring in this Spyglass, this Binding, and these, and just like only bring in the one treasure map because Glorybringer beats are a bit scary. Yeah, it turns off Phoenix. It also turns off Liliana's reanimation. But like the plussing of Liliana is already still relevant enough on its own. I think I like this. I think I'm gonna only bring in the one map because it's like possible we randomly die to Glorybringer some games if we don't actually pressure our opponent enough and have too much grindy stuff. I could cut one Angel for the other map. That's a good point. Bam. Like that's lowering of the curve sort of facilitates the extra map. Ugh. This hand is not great. Is this a mulligan? It's probably a mulligan. I hate mulliganing so much. It has the arch. So, like, if we draw a couple token makers, we have, like, our long game. Oh, I should probably be responsible. I mean, this is, like, the same as the first hand, but I guess I keep it. I hate being responsible with mulliganing decisions. I just want to keep everything. I just want to keep every 7 that has lands. We downgraded our hand somehow. Somehow, some way. Blocking means they can Moment of Craving the Sentry, but whatever. Shrug. Ooh, Harvester's kinda scary. Harvester is kind of a scary Magic card. Just like makes it much harder for us to meaningfully pressure them. Lands and spells, that's the dream. That's all I ask for from an opening hand. Opponents on the tokens deck now. Losing this Ram's expertise was a bit sad. Hopefully we draw something to do with this turn. Ideally we draw a Profane Procession, but asking for that might be a bit greedy. That is not even close to a Profane Procession. Let's just get rid of this nonsense. Doing it on our turns so they don't have the extra mana for P and LR activations if they would want access to such a thing. Oh, you're right, Charlotte, you're right. Yep, I definitely meant Anointed Procession. For sure. Cool, taking 4, they get to gain some life, or not, if they so want. Not in the greatest spot this game at the moment. Like they're going pretty wide. Ooh. This is interesting. You know, I'm kinda tempted to play this before the Angel. Just because I feel like I need to do something powerful here. Means we don't get the free. Having a free Snubhorn to block with would be pretty good, but I imagine that's occurred a lot on deck lists, Charlotte. I'm tempted just to... I think I'm just going to cast this. We have 2 turns to draw something to do with the procession, and this way we get to beef up our Sentry. So that we can actually, like, block their creatures better and buy ourselves more time. I mean, we could anoint it up there. I don't know. I'm just a bit scared. I'm a scaredy cat. I think... Am I making the Angel big? No, I just want to make sure my Sentry's online. The Angel's so likely to die anyway. Yeah, that seems like one of the easier deck lists mistakes to make of the ones I've heard. Oh, we were meant to attack with the Lifelinkers that turn, weren't we? They don't have any good blocks on them, and we still have the servos to block with. And that way we'd pad out our life total. Yeah, not attacking with the vampires was pretty loose. They only get us if they have a Magma Spray for the Angel, which is fairly unlikely. Yeah, our powerful engine is online. It became a free GG. Exactly, Stephen. I'm glad you understand what we were building to all this time. So yeah, missing out the lifelink of these vampire tokens might punish us. It is a 4/4, this is true. I've just been calling it a 3/3 this whole time because I assumed the angel was going to die. But it is a 4/4. You are not wrong. A mighty 4/4. Okay, that's really good for us. Is it weird that I almost want to block? It's probably awful. I'm just not going to block. I was just thinking, like, they probably don't have removal in their hand. But... well, they probably have removal in their hand for our angel, but it's probably just awful. I have seen that. That deck looks delightful. It also doesn't look very good, but... like, has it... I know, Brennan played it on stream fairly recently. Did it look any good on his stream? It's bad. It's like, I assumed it was bad. It 5-0'd the league. I mean, I have 5-0'd some leagues with some very bad decks. But... super fun when it goes crazy, yeah, for sure. 0 mana Factor fictions and such. Well, I'm gonna double block this thing. Could double block with the Snubhorn and the Vampire, that way if they have a removal spell for the Angel. If they had a removal spell for the Angel, they'd be attacking with more stuff though, I feel like. So I'm just gonna double block and gain as much life as possible. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't have a removal spell here. You Arcane Adaptation to make all your creatures into Sphinxes. Get an Unesh on the table and then cast a bunch of Ornithopters, and the Ornithopters draw a bunch of cards. I think you also cast like 0 mana Walking Ballistas as well. I mean, pretty soon this is going to be good, but we might lose this Lilia ult before then. These Liliana ultimates have been really scary for this deck. This is actually really threatening, the fact they're just 2 turns away from wiping our board. I'm playing against just black-red mid-range Teresa. Yeah, I'm not really sure how we win this game. They're just gonna, like, wrap our board next turn, if they want. We can go really wide with these processions, but we kind of have to hit a few running token makers, I feel like. Yeah, sadly they are not on Mardu vehicles. I'd be feeling a lot more comfortable at the moment versus Mardu. But these cards are doing a lot of work here. Ooh, that's heck. Pumping Aethersphere Harvester with Pianalar to gain more life. That's kind of gross. We should be blue so we can cast Search for Azcanta. Have you seen how many Field of Ruins there are though? There are so many Field of Ruins in Standard. Yeah, this is rough. Their Liliana's like 100% surviving. I'm forced to cast this to like make them ult their Liliana, but yeah, there's not enough mana for double dunes, sadly. Yeah. Forced to cast this. I almost wonder if I just have to attack with the Vampire. Otherwise I die to these Harvesters. That might be the case. I think I'm probably just not winning anyway. I'm going to attack with just this vampire. I guess I can attack with the Snubhorn as well. In fact, I can probably just attack with all of these and get, like... It probably makes no difference to anything, but... I know I want to gain the life of this attack, so I don't die to Harvesters as quickly after they raft the board with Liliana. Interesting. Yep, they're just going to chump block the tokens, since next turn they're wrathing anyway. I wonder how we get out of this. Like, are there any draws? Because if they have a single creature in hand, they get to go -7, play a creature, crew both Harvesters, attack for like 8, and then we're dead to Harvesters the turn afterwards. So I'm not convinced we actually have draws that can keep us in this game. We'll see though. We might be forgetting something. It's also possible they just don't have... yeah, they get to crew with the zombies, for sure. Okay, so we lose all our stuff. They keep their zombies. They had P in the last. They get to crew both of these and attack for 10. So we have like actual 0 outs to this, I think. So I guess an angel isn't out because it like block and gain us life whilst making enough tokens to walk on the ground. Is that an out? Yeah. We're just like super dead. Anyway, we get to be on the play for the final game. Which is nice. I think I'm just running this back. I think I'm pretty happy with how this is set up for post board. I'm really enthusiastic about this Sorcerer Spyglass. The Liliana's did a lot of work that game. Being able to name Liliana. Yeah, PO means Angel can't block, you're right. I didn't think of that. Also, the Angel just wouldn't have been enough lifelink anyway, as it worked out, since we'd have gained 2, but then they could have just pumped Harvester, so we were dead to either of Pia's abilities the next time. They probably only have like 3 or 4 Harvesters as their only artifacts in their deck, which means we can't reasonably board in Fragmentize. Sound is awful. This is pretty nice. This is a fast Legion's Landing flip, and we're going to keep that land just to ensure we flip this landing as aggressively as possible. Yeah, mono white tokens has been a blast. We 4-1'd our league yesterday with it, and today we're 3-1 so far, so it's been doing pretty well for us. Spray's going to keep us off flipping landing for a turn, but we'll still just flip it the turn afterwards because of this Queen's Commission. Cool. So they get to eat a token on blocks, but we still flip the Legion's Landing, which is what we really want. I have to play this. I don't think it actually matters the sequencing on this, but I'm just going to play this now. Their blocks are kind of forced anyway. I mean, they saw Sacred Cat game 1, right? And they'd rather have Magma Sprays than, like, Vraska's Contempts. Magma Spray also kills the Angel, which is really nice for them. It's posted a few 5.0s online. It's not like super established, you don't see it that much, but it's like a known thing that exists. What is a Phoenix? Well, let's just start making 1/1s. Probably can't attack for a little while, but that's fine. Ooh. Angel of Invention is a nice one. They have this Ifnir Deadlands in play, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a token this turn and field the Deadlands, and then I can cast the Angel next turn. I think I like that idea the most. Oh, I didn't realize it won a PPTQ. That's really sweet. Yeah, I've only just started catching up with Standard K. Like, I've not played Standard in, like, I think it's, like, this week is the first time I've played Standard since the bans, basically. Okay. Liliana time again. This card is so good against us because the Wrath is so relevant. Let's get rid of this Deadlands. Yep, I can do it in their turn. Bam. So let's just make the Angel so we can swing as much as possible at Liliana to try and get in some damage whilst we have the chance. I think I'm making servos here. I could make counters. It might be that they just can't kill my Angel very easily if I put counters on her. But it's just going to trade with the Phoenix if I do that, which isn't terribly exciting. So yes, I really want the servos instead. This exposes her to Magma Spray, but it's still pretty good for us. They get to trade the Phoenix with this, trade these off, and then keep their Liliana if they want. They still lose like both their 2/2s this way, leaving us with good attacks next turn, even though they're going to get the Phoenix back. I keep meaning to play more Pauper. It seems like pretty good. I really like the Boros deck in Pauper. I think that deck's a lot of fun. Right, there's so many blockers. These Phoenixes just block so amazingly against us. We still get to swing all the servos at Liliana and kill her, as long as they can't kill our Angel. So I guess we just do that. If they can kill our Angel, we're in a pretty bad spot. Otherwise, I think we're in a pretty good spot with Adanto online and Liliana off the board. So we just have to cross our fingers. They don't have a Magma Spray here. Like, we could have activated Shepherd Dunes to play around the Magma Spray, but I feel like I just really wanted to get some forward momentum on just developing our board. Interesting. Oh my god. We are falling behind. Right, we get to Adanto a token out. The fact that the Phoenixes just like permanently kill a token every time we attack is like a nightmare. Maybe we need 2 Immortal Suns. I could see that. Immortal Sun's been really good. Unsurprisingly. Oh my god. If I chef at Dunes and they don't have removal, I kill Liliana. But they have 4 mana up, it's so likely they have a removal spell. So I think I just have to like chill for a while and keep Adantoing tokens. At least the Adanto kind of keeps pace with the Liliana. It's like something. Yeah, for sure. I could see just putting a second Immortal Sun in the sideboard. It's been very impressive. If we make the all-out attack with Shepherd Dunes and they have the removal spell, we basically lose the game. With 4 cards in their hand, I felt like I wanted to play around the removal spell, but... So they get to kill our Angel this turn? Fielding a land doesn't really achieve anything. They still get to hold up Vraska's Contempt if they have it. Because they just go find another land and it comes in untapped. We really need either Immortal Sun or like the other good draw we have access to is Anointed Procession. Start making 2 1/1s a turn would really get us back in this. Right. Still drawing pretty live. The other good draw, Pride of Conquerors, actually does a fair amount because it like clears off all their 2/2s on our attack. So we're also drawing pretty live to Pride of Conquerors as well. Legion's Landing, interesting. So let's make our token. This might be the Shepherd Dunes turn. I think it's the Shepherd Dunes turn. So we get to go this. Oh, we want to tap the Adanto, then we get to make an Adanto token this turn off the new Adanto. So we sack our Scavenger Grounds to Shepherd Dunes our team. We swing all of them at Liliana. Get a new Adanto, so we still get to make our token this turn. If they have a removal spell, they get to keep Liliana, but at least we clear out some of their 2/2s and hopefully get in some damage on Liliana. Okay, so we still get to make a token here. Still kind of treading water, buying time, hoping to draw into an Anointed Procession. Yeah, Shepherd Dunes is really, really good. For sure. Right. We get to kill our Vampire. Nope. So yes, we just have to pass back again. I don't think we achieve anything with a Shepherd Dunes attack. We only get in 2 damage and gain 2 life. So I'm just going to keep waiting, keep making tokens. Hopefully our opponent's just flooding really badly. Again, we're just really hoping to draw a Procession or something powerful like that. Even an Arch of Orazca would let us start drawing multiple cards, digging deeper. But we are starting to run out of time. They now have 12 power in the air. So next turn they get to put us to 1. That is a rough draw. Do we have to attack this turn just to gain life? I don't think we can afford to is the problem. I think I just have to pass the turn again. So I think we're probably running out of live draws now. Because they've got 12 power in the air, they can kill us so easily over the next 2 turns. And another Glorybringer kills us too, at any point. Is this a Ballista? Yeah. We're just super dead Ballista, combined with that Air Force. That's a pretty sad end to that game. Like, we kind of flooded out a bit towards the end. Missed out on some of, like, the powerful spells we needed to combat what our opponent was doing. Still can't complain too much of a 3-2. Yeah, sure thing, Stephen. Hopefully see you later. Safe travels. Right, before we go on to the next deck, let's open our treasure chest. Oh wow, Polluted Delta. That's a nice open. Cool. I am very happy with that treasure chest. Anyway, that was like a solid finish for this deck. 3-2 isn't the end of the world. Definitely like gave some thoughts on things we could potentially change on the sideboard for the next time. I'm really happy with these Snubhorn Sentries over the Master Tinketeers we were playing beforehand. These just felt like they haven't been great, but they have been better. They've been closer to being like actual cards. They haven't been trading with removal as badly, which is nice. Anyway, on to the next league.